What is up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to my channel. I'm not feeling too hot, but I did watch Raising Dion Season 2, and today we have to talk about it, whether or not this series is worth it picking up 2 years later. Spoiler-free ahead. Raising Dion follows the story of Nicole and her son Dion after Dion starts to manifest several mysterious superhero-like abilities 2 years after defeating the Crooked Man, played by Jason Ritter. Season 2 follows Dion as he continues honing in his powers with the support of his mom and Tevin, his trainer, who catches Nicole's eye. After befriending new student Brayden, a fellow powered kid, a series of alarming events unfold, and Dion learns that the danger is still looming. Navigating twists, turns, and surprise visitors, Dion and Nicole must prevail again, not just to save themselves, but the entire city of Atlanta. Come on, Dion, you gotta save Atlanta, man. I like Atlanta. Listen, Season 1, it feels like it happened so long ago, so I did have to do a bit of a refresher prior to watching this season, and I can say firmly that I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun enough. It is a family-centric superhero-type origin story. A lot of that has to do with the fact that the characters, most of the main characters, the prominent ones, are so young, Dion being 10 now. I also completely forgot Michael B. Jordan was in Season 1, but the rise in learning who he is meant to be at such a young age is very difficult for anyone, especially when you have superpowers, and that's kind of the focal point of this season. At least the first half is honing in on his powers, getting a new trainer, now a little bit more official, someone who creates for an interesting bond between the now trio. But we also have a lot of unexpected elements in Season 2 that I firmly believe elevate it just a bit over Season 1. This season is bigger. You can tell the budget is much bigger than Season 1, but you're also keeping that heart and soul of what made Raising Dion. In Episode 1, we're back into this world. We find Dion kind of patrolling his neighborhood and trying to figure out what he can and can't do. Something as simple as closing the lid to a trash can, which I thought was just the cutest thing. But you see his powers in action, and you realize this kid is so much more powerful than he even realizes. At one point when he's with his trainer, he does something, and his trainer says, "What is that? Like, what are you doing right now?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm just kind of manifesting something." So you're getting a little hint as to what is to come with this character and what could come in future seasons. But at the same time, you're getting this backstory for a new kid that comes into town, and I won't spoil exactly what his role is, but it creates for an interesting dynamic, and the series is definitely not without its villainous presence that thematically carries over from the first season. But there are also other things that carry over from the first season that I found to be interesting. And again, I feel like if you are invested in Season 1, then you will like this show just as much, if not better, because now that we have the origin for Dion and really those around him, his mother's relationship with him, to me, is the most interesting part of the show. Now we can go off and do other things. Explore the community of those with powers just a bit more. How his mother, Nicole, kind of sees that as a community that she doesn't necessarily know if she wants Dion to be full-on a part of just yet, not only because of what happened in Season 1, but because it's her little boy. And after what happened to Michael B. Jordan's character in the first season, she could not bear to see something like that happen to Dion. We also, of course, have his friend group once again, Sammy Haney and Gavin Munn. Jonathan's a great character, but Sammy Haney, oh my gosh, she is the cutest little girl, and she actually gets a lot to do in this season. There's something that she's trying out for that inevitably leads us to her having a nice little character arc in this season. And that's kind of one, problem I had with the first season is I wasn't entirely sold on the performances. They weren't great. They do get better this time around. There are still moments and times where I do wish it was a bit stronger or we could get something to come from that. And my biggest issue, we're kind of leading into that, is the fact that this is a very familiar type superhero story, even though they're significantly younger than what we're used to seeing. Everything we see in Season 2, almost everything, we have seen before. That also leads me to kind of the disjointed nature of Season 2. That was probably my biggest issue with Season 1, and unfortunately, that carries over. When we are focusing on what works about this season, I don't want to get too far into details, then I am thoroughly enjoying myself. I like seeing these kids interact and this journey to become a better superhero, but the show continues to go from storyline to storyline. There's a scene that is dark, and that tone significantly changes in the next scene when it becomes comedic and lighthearted, and that creates for somewhat of a jumbled experience at the end of the day, and I found something along those lines to complain about in almost every episode. I also feel like it may go on just a bit too long. There are some things that could have wrapped up quicker, some conversations that took up a bit too much time, but all of that to say, I still found Season 2 to be a bit more compelling, to give us likable characters, and a familiar superhero origin story that has enough charm to make fans of Season 1 happy. And before I give you guys my score, thank you so much for watching, bearing with me as my voice slowly goes away. My score is a 65% for Season 2 of Raising Dion. Hey, if you like this video, be sure to drop your thumbs up down below. That tells me you would like to see more. I do plan on doing more reviews. We'll just have to kind of see where I'm at, just because something's going on. I don't know what it is, but I promise to keep you guys updated. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you soon.